Well, in this video, guys, we will be looking at Exponents MIP 1502, right? Even if you're not doing MIP 1502, you can benefit from this video, right? We'll look at the basics or the laws, right? So I said that exponential expression, to simplify the process of repeated multiplication, exponential notation is often used. For example, the quantity 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 can be written to 3 to the power of 5. So this is what we call an exponent, right? Where 3 is a base and 5 is a power. So similarly, if I write 4 times 4 is written as 4 squared. So remember, a square unit of a length like centimeter squared is called a square centimeter. This is a standard unit of area. Note, centimeter squared is not the standard unit for area. So in this video, guys, I will be explaining some of the basic law that we need to know, especially when we are working with exponents, right? If you're new to this channel, what are you waiting for? Do the right thing, subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get to today's video. Consider a to the power of m, right? So we are having a to the power of m. I want you to note this. This is what we call a base, and this is what we call an exponent. This is a base, and this is an exponent. So remember, I will just write it like this. Right? We said this is a base and this is an exponent. So it exerts what? Power. So that's why you call it a to the power of m, right? So okay. The first law of that you need to know, it's multiplying powers of the same base. When you're multiplying powers of the same base, let's say I'm having a to the power of m and a to the power of n. So when the bases are the same, remember, when the base is same base, right? Same base, you add the exponent. I want you to note this. You add what? You add exponents. You add the exponent. Same base, you add the exponent, meaning that I'm gonna take the same base, which is a, then I'm gonna add m and n. So this will be plus n, right? So it's a very essential law. So probably they might give you something like this. They will want you to, for example, they will just say simplify x cubed plus let's consider x cubed plus okay, I'll just say x cubed multiply by x squared, right? What we could see that we have the same bases, right? So same bases, what do? You add the exponent. So this will be 3 plus 2, which will be x to the power of 5, right? So very essential law that you need to know. That was the first one. What about the second one? The second one we will look at, it's when we are dividing powers of the same. When we are dividing powers of the same. So note this. When dividing two powers of the same, we leave the base the same and subtract the exponent. I'm repeating again. When dividing two powers of the same base, we leave the base the same and subtract exponent. Right? Remember I told you that here, when you're multiplying the base of the same, when the bases are the same and you're multiplying them, you add. But to this law, consider you are having a to the power of m divided by n. You subtract. Here you do what? You subtract the exponent. You subtract the exponent. So meaning that this will be m minus n. So, all right. So consider, sometimes an example will be, they will say simplify, probably let's say they give you 2 to the power of 8 divided by 2 to the power of 3. What will you do? Because the bases are the same, what do? You take 2 here, then you subtract the exponent. So this will be 8 minus 3, this will be 2 to the power of 5, right? So this will be 2 to the power of 5. So it's in an exponential form. I hope, guys, I'm making sense in this. I hope I'm making sense, right? So it's very essential that you know this, right? So let's look at okay, another important law, which will be our number 3. It's the zero exponent rule. The zero exponent rule. The zero exponent rule states that any base that is powered by 0, okay, we are looking at what? The zero exponent rule. It states that any base that is powered by 0, that base will be 1, right? For example, let's consider they want you to simplify such problem. 4x to the power of 0. For x to the power of 0, since this is our base, then it's powered by 0, then this will be 1. I hope you get that, right? Or they could just say x to the power of 0, that will be 1. Any base that is being powered by 0 will be 1. I hope I'm making sense, right? Another one will be, let's consider they can give you something like this, a to the power of m and n. We call this raising a power to power. I hope you're writing down. We call this raising a power to power. So when raising a power to power, we multiply the exponents. Am I making sense? When raising a power to power, we multiply the exponent. What do I mean? Let's put that into practice, right? So consider this, you're having m, we multiply the exponent. So we are going to multiply m will multiply n, right? So this will be our 4th. So remember, raising a power to a power. So let's consider a practical example. Let's say you're given x squared, and this is 4. Let's say they put brackets here, and then there's 3. So what will you do? First, this, remember, your exponents will multiply each other. 2 times 4 will be 8. So let's put the bracket. This is x to the power of what? To the power of 8 here. Then we also have 3. So then 3, we're raising powers to power. 8 times 3 then, what is that? That will be 24. Right? I hope you are getting it, right? I hope you're getting it. Okay. The 5th one that we are going to look at, it's a very important law, raising a product to a power. I will just say this one, I call it raising a product to a power. Raising a product to a power. What do I mean? I hope you are noting what I'm saying. Very important part. When raising a product to a power, we apply the exponent to each factor of the product and multiply the result. This is known as distributive rule of powers over multiplication. I hope you have written that. Very important part. So we are raising a product to a power. What do I mean? Let's say consider you're having a multiplied by b and n. This will be a to the power of n. Everything will be powered by n. A to the power of n multiplied by b to the power of n. That's what I mean. So consider maybe in an examination, they gave you this a, or in a test, a to the power of b, then everything here will be raised. Or in an assignment, if you power this will be a to the power of 5 and b to the power of 5, right? So a very important part that we ought to know, guys, right? A very important part that we ought to know. Another important rule, which will be our number 6, that I want us to look at, MIP student, very important. Even if you're not doing MIP, I still insist that this video is for all, because even grade 8 and grade 9 can benefit. Even if you're in grade 12, if you lack basic, you can still benefit, right? Very important part. So we call this root definition. How do we get rid of a root? Very important part. You may ask, how do we get it, Mr. Richard? Consider you're having a, then this will be our numerator, and this will be our denominator. So we are going to have m to the power of n. So this is how you get rid of a square root, right? Probably they might give you something like this. You have to simplify the cubic root of x squared. You take out x squared. Just remember I told you that this will be your numerator and this will be your denominator. We're going to have 2 to the power of 3. So this is how it should be, right? So if you're new to this channel, guys, what are you waiting for? In our next video, we will be looking at we'll be focusing on activities, a mixture of an activity, which will be uploaded tomorrow. Thank you for those of you who keep subscribing. It's been a while, guys. I uploaded, so tomorrow we're expecting another video, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and remember, we love you.